pray that you all get to come back with me. Somehow or another, it just blanked out. I have no excuse and I have no reason. So please, you all, get to come back to me, Facebook viewers. Blog Talk listeners, you're always with me, so therefore I haven't lost you. You stay in touch. But please, you all, get to come back to me. If you don't get to come back to me, please take the time and go back and view this later, all right? I have no reasons, I have no excuses on why it blanked out, but we're going to continue on, all right? So I was talking about your attitude, and I said I have this friend that in the beginning of my employment at the particular place I was employed at the time, she would often tell me, Monica, when the supervisors come to you and ask you something, just learn to say, okay. She would say, Monica, just learn to say, okay. That took so much out of me at that time because I wanted them to hear my opinion. I wanted them to hear my thoughts. I wanted to let them know what they were telling me to do was not right, was not in order. I wanted so much to express how I felt because that was a part of my attitude. And so in the process, she'll be proud of me now, because in the process now of going forward, and whenever my managers or any leader try to tell me something to do, it's not that I'm being as you would call a kiss butt or anything like that, but I have learned that my opinion doesn't matter. Let me put it like that. I have learned my opinion, my thoughts, my excuses, my reasons didn't matter. Therefore, I've learned to adjust my attitude and just try to give them what they're asking for in the midst of my servitude. Because I don't want to serve nobody with a bad attitude. You know, that affects me. You know what I'm saying? That affects me trying to serve somebody in a bad attitude. It'll mess up my whole day. It will literally mess up my whole day. So I know my image, and now I have to get my attitude to fall accordingly. All right? So we talked about attitude. Then we talked about something that I noticed a role of a particular job that I noticed with this individual and how this person works this job. And I began to talk to you all about a caddy. A caddy. The caddy is the individual that carries the golf clubs of the golfer, right? I love watching caddies when the golf games come on. I don't always watch the golf games to the end because that kind of sport I just can't get into. But I look at things in a different view, in a different perspective when I look at it, and I notice the caddies. I notice the caddies. They carry the golf clubs for their golfers. They follow their golfers. Wherever they go, they go. The caddy follows wherever the golfer goes. When the golfer needs something out of the bag, the caddy gets that thing. Look, you can tell I'm not a golfer. Gets that thing out of the golf bag and gives it to the golfer so he can hit that little ball. You know, I noticed the characteristics of a caddy. And they are a good example of how we as individuals can serve so effectively. I told you about a caddy and how they do. Listen to this. I want to remind you all of this. A caddy, there are two types of caddies. I got to remind you all of this because these are kind of be two types of leaders you may serve. Listen, there's a traditional caddy and there's a forward caddy, F-O-R-E. I told you all there's a traditional caddy and there's a forward caddy. You have to know the people that you serve. A lot of you may have traditional caddies or traditional leaders that you follow, or you may have a leader that's like a forward caddy. Let me explain it to you. A traditional caddy is one that both the golfer and the caddy walks the course together. The golfer and the caddy walks the course together. So that's the kind you see at the PGAs, you know, golf tournaments. You see the caddy on the same field with the golfer. As the golfer walks, so does the caddy. So some of us may have traditional leaders at work or church. You may have a traditional leader that as they journey along, they take you along with them. Whatever they do, you do it along with them. Wherever they go, you go along with them. You have traditional leaders that will take you everywhere that they go, along with them, because you serve them so well, they don't mind taking you. But you may have this kind of leader, a forward caddy, F-O-R-E, whereas the caddy walks, but the golfer rides. you know, in those little carts. The golfer may have to ride, or he chooses to ride in the cart instead of walking the course. But the caddy has to still walk the course. In other words, if you have a 4 caddy leader, okay, a 4 caddy leader, you have a leader that will tell you, meet me there. You don't have to go with me. Just meet me there. Make sure you be there at a certain time, or they will bid you to come. You don't always get to follow them like the traditional caddy person, but you may have a 4 caddy leader that tells you, no, I don't need you to go with me. No, you don't have to fly with me. You don't have to be there with me. Just meet me there. I'm going to ride along ahead of you. I'm going to go there, but I expect you to get there and be there when I get there. So if you know what kind of leader you have, a traditional or a 4, I use the caddy, I use golfing, but it kind of works in our natural as well as far as leadership. In what capacity? Corporate America, church, or whatever. You have traditional leaders that will take you wherever they go. But then you may have a leader that said, meet me there, or they will bid you to come when they need you. You have to know what kind of leader you have. Work on your image, your attitude, and the way that you serve, and know what kind of leader that you have. Well, today now, it takes me to my lesson on today. There is something I want to show you all, because I said serving will allow you to enter a whole different world. I promise you, if you serve effectively, you will enter a whole different world. Think about the President of the United States. Not just Trump, any president. All right? Think about the President of the United States. There are people that serves those presidents that they were never in that position before. But because they served so well, that when their leader got elevated, so did the servant. Y'all better hear me. As the leader got elevated, so did the servant, because the leader did not want to lose the person that served them so well. Didn't want to lose them. And so that allowed that servant, he served his leader in one capacity, but now because his leader has gotten elevated, hear me good, his leader has gotten elevated, the leader says, now look, I'm not going to leave you behind because you know me. You know how to serve me. So I'm going to take you with me. As I go up, so do you. And so it enters you into a whole new different kind of world, a whole new different kind of service, a whole new different kind of attitude, and a whole new different kind of image. Because the image you had down here, has now got to elevate as your leader elevates. Come on now. Your image has to change even more as your leader elevates and as you elevate. You cannot serve when he's down here or she is down here the way you're going to serve them when they up here. I hope you all hear me. Because it's going to take you into a whole new, different world. And guess what? This leader wanted you in their world. They want you in their world. Let me show it to you. In Matthew 25, I love Matthew 25, because it talks about some servants in Matthew 25. All right? Matthew 25. And I want to show you all some things. I won't be able to read everything, all right? But I do want to show you all some things as far as entering into a different world through serving. Hear me good. Entering into a different world through serving. Listen to Matthew 25, and if you all get the chance, write it down so you can go and look at these scriptures, all right? Matthew 25, it starts at the 14th verse, and I'm reading it out of the NIV, and it says this. Again, it will be like a man going on a journey who called his servants and entrusted his wealth to them. So my question to you is this. You have a leader, you have a supervisor, you have a manager, getting ready to go on vacation, getting ready to leave, getting ready to do something that they will no longer be able to be at their place of employment. They then call their nurses, I'm a nurse, so I'm going to use me, call their nurses into the office and say, look, I'm getting ready to go on vacation for about a week, but I have some duties I need you all to do that I'm going to trust you to handle. I'm going to trust you to handle it. And so the leader distributes out the different roles, the different responsibilities that he or she wants their colleagues to do and carry out, or the servants to do while they're gone. Now notice, everybody don't get the same duties. Some people gonna get more responsibility than the other one. Somebody may only have one responsibility. Somebody may have 5 responsibilities, but somebody else may just have 3 responsibilities. But the leader knows who is able to handle what responsibility, just like in Matthew 25. So he calls his servants to himself, and he entrusts his servants, though, with his money. He entrusts his servants, people that have been serving him. And the Bible don't say how long, but the Bible does say they are servants. And he trusts these servants while he's getting ready to go on this long journey. I want y'all to handle my business while I'm gone. Can your leader, in whatever capacity you in, can trust you with their most valuable possession while they go on a journey? And if you answer no, you're not serving well. You're not serving well. They don't even trust to leave the house because you don't serve well. They can't go on vacation because you can't serve well. They ain't got nobody they can trust to take care of the business while they gone. So they stay at home, get frustrated with you because they need a vacation and can't go nowhere. Come on now. You got to serve better. You got to serve better. So in Matthew 25, the Bible says that the servant, that the master gave out his money according to the abilities that these servants were able to handle. To one he gave 5 bags of gold, to one he gave 2 bags of gold, and to one he gave 1 bag of gold. But he gave each servant some gold. Doesn't matter how much you got. The master trusted you with something. The leader trusted you with something, according to the ability that you can do. Then it drops down to 19 in Matthew 25. It says, after a long time, the master of those servants returned, and he settles his account with them. In other words, he sits them down. He said, give me a report. Just like your manager comes back. She gave you all different duties to do. When she comes back off of vacation, tell me what's been going on. How's the floor running? I'm talking about nursing. How's the floor running? Is everybody okay? How many call-ins did we have? Was we short any time? Did we have any colds or anything? Give me a report. Let's settle this. Let's sit down. Talk to me. That's what your lead say. Sit down. Talk to me. I want to know what's going on. How did you do with what I gave you? Did you make it more fruitful, or did I have about 5 employees quit? Because you didn't know how to talk to them and you didn't know how to treat them. So do I have less now than I had before because you didn't know how to do what you were supposed to do? Come on, let's settle the account. Tell me, what did you do? So in Matthew 25, the servants come to him. The one with 5 has now made it 10. The one with 4 has now made it 8. And the one that he gave 1 to comes back with exactly 1. Didn't do nothing with whatever his master gave him. Didn't do anything. But this is what I want to get to. I said, serving will allow you to enter into a different world. I want to get this in the King James Version to read it to you because I think you'll better understand it that way. And so therefore, the servants, he gave it to them according to their abilities and what they can do. He gave it to them what they can do. You know, man traveling, he come back home. He asks them, what did they do? They tell him what they have done and gained and been prosperous in what they did. Even the one that only has 1 says, I didn't do anything with it. I was too scared to try to do anything with it because I thought I would mess it up. And so therefore, I just buried it. Didn't do nothing with it, so here's your 1 back. He told that servant, you're not good. You're not good. That's why I gave you 1, because I knew your ability, but I was hoping you would do well with the 1. But listen, here's now, how do I put this to you all? Here are servants that's been serving their master. The master goes on a journey. He gives them responsibility of his money in hopes that they would do something with it. Why? Why? Why would a master trust his servants with some money that he wants them to do something with? Because I'm here to tell you this. This is why. If you've been following any type of leader, hear me. any type of leader, you should have been observing how they work. You should be observing how they do business. You should be observing how they handle people. Because you are a servant. You should be seen and not heard. Don't get offended. But you're a servant that's serving a leader that does business, that handles people, that makes his wealth more. And because these servants have been with him, he said, now I trust y'all to do the same thing that I've been doing. And because I've been watching you all, watching me, I'm going to give you 5, I'm going to give you 4, I'm going to give you 1. And I want y'all to do the same business that I was doing while I'm gone. Do business while I'm gone. Treat the people I like the way I treat them while I'm gone. Be respectful while I'm gone. But do business while I'm gone. So these are servants. And I guess you all wonder, now how am I supposed to do business? I'm a servant. I don't know how to do business. Listen up. If I give you 5 bags of gold and I tell you to do business while I'm gone, you have to know my name means something. My name. As your master, as your leader, my name means something. So if you've been going around with me as a traditional leader, you may have been going around with me as I go on a journey, you go on a journey. Or you may have been going and as I bid you to come, you came. And then you get to see me do business. You either traveled with me or you bid it and I bid it for you to come and you came. Either way it goes, you know the circle in which I dwell. You know the circle in which I dwell. So if I give you 5 bags of gold and you come back and make it 10, you watched my circle real well. That you knew how to make this money multiply. And you knew how to invest in certain things that you saw me invest in. You watched me. There's a movie called Sabrina. I love this movie. And there was a chauffeur that used to chauffeur this man around. And he died. And so the man, at the end of the movie, they found out that the chauffeur was a millionaire. He was a millionaire. They said now, his daughter, who was Sabrina, said, Dad, how did you get all this money? How? You're a servant. You served this man. All you did was drive this man around. How did you get all this money? He says, listen, he said, I drove Mr. whoever around every single day. And while he was in the car, in the back, he did business while he was in the car. And whenever he would say invest in something, he said, I take my money and invest too. I ain't saying nothing. I'm just driving him around. When he said take my stock out of something, I was like, okay, I'm going to take my stock out too. Just driving the man around. But he's observing and he's listening as he's driving this man around. And every time the man would invest, he would invest. Every time the man would remove his stock, he would remove his stock. And he became a millionaire just by observing and listening to the man that he drove in the car. You all are not good observers. You don't listen well because you think you are owed something. And if a servant ever feels they are owed something, you will never serve well. Hear me. So let's get back because my time is winding up and I'm trying to get somewhere. So here it is with these servants. The master done entrusted them with the money. He expecting a return on his investment. He comes back and he finds out that 5 is now 10, 4 is now 8, and the 1 with the 1. But this is what I want to get to you all. Entering into a different world through serving as I get ready to close. The Bible says this in 20. And so he that had received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more. 21. His Lord said unto him, well done. Every servant, let me put it like this, every servant that serves wants to hear those 2 words. Well done. Well done. Thou good and faithful servant. I declare every servant or anybody that serves want to hear their manager, their boss, their supervisor, their church leader to say, well done, thou good and faithful servant. But it doesn't stop there. Listen, Thou hast been faithful over a few things. You did good. I will now make you ruler over many things. That's awesome. But this is the highlight right here. Enter thou, or enter you into the joy of thy Lord. Let me tell you what I'm trying to say. Enter, you've been good, you've been faithful, you've done a good job. But not only that, I want you now to enter into the joy of what I experience. I want you to enter into the joy of your Lord. I go places, I do things, I establish things, I make things grow. I now want you to enter into my world. Enter into my world, because now I know you're able to handle my world. Every leader should want their servant to enter into their world. It's a bad leader if you don't want to share the experiences that you have. That's a bad leader. That's a selfish leader. But it is a beautiful thing if you have some good servants, well done, faithful servants, and they have done what you have told them to do. Now you get the opportunity to tell them, enter into my world, sweethearts. Come on. I want y'all to see how I celebrate. You think you were celebrating. Oh, but when you get in my world, you get to celebrate. Being in the White House is a different world. And them servants are enjoying that world, especially if they got a good leader. It's a beautiful world. Your name gets to be known. You get to expand your horizons. You be like Jabez, enlarge my territory, God, because you've done well. You are good and you're a faithful servant. And now you get to enter into a different world, all because you served so well. Don't be against, I can't find the word I'm really looking for, but don't be against the person whom you serving. God's going to reward you for your servitude. Don't look at it from them. Look for your reward from God, because he rewards so much better. He does. Not only that, you get the opportunity to enter into their world and enjoy some joy in the midst of their world. So keep serving, people. Keep serving. You're doing a good job. And if you're not doing a good job, step up your game. Because there are some places that you got to get to. And you will never get there if you don't serve well. All right? Serving will allow you to enter into a different world. In Matthew 25, they get to enter into the joy, into the excitement, into all the festivities of their world of the master they have. So go and serve well. There are some places you got to go to. There's some doors that need to open for you, all because you served well. I want to thank you all for joining me today, June 5th, 2017, Bravo Living. Appreciate you all being with me. Tune in with me every Monday, 12 noon Central Standard Time, same place, same time. Thank you all for sharing me with your followers. Thank you all for even coming back after we got shut down, all right? But I thank you all so much, and I greatly appreciate you. Do know, we're going to celebrate life one step at a time. If I have to celebrate myself, by myself, all right? Love you all. Have a beautiful and productive week, all right? And go serve very well. So you can say, so your leaders can say, thou good and faithful servant, enter into the joy of your Lord. All right? Bye-bye, you all.